In a moment, we'll be beginning our commencement ceremony. We will begin by having our graduates enter the auditorium, followed by the platform party. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as the graduating class enters. Welcome. Please remain standing for our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, honored guests, and graduating students, I'd like to welcome you to Earl Haig's 85th annual graduation ceremony. My name is Mark Caruana, and I'm honored to be your MC this afternoon. At this time, I would like to introduce the platform party. On stage, we have the school leadership team and special guests. I'm going to ask each of you to stand as I introduce you, and please hold your applause until I've introduced the entire platform party. First, we have Doug Lawrence, ACL of Clubs and Council. Dan McFadden, ACL of Athletics. Linda Curtis, Superintendent. Mario Recta, Chairman of the Toronto District School Board. Marla Horman, Vice Principal. And Ann Sukram, Vice Principal. Michael Reese, Vice Principal. Tom Colin, Vice Principal. Renata Gonzalez, Principal of Earl Haig Secondary School. Tara Lee Blank, Artistic Director of Club Watson. Kathy McBain, Co-Chair of the School Council. Mark Webster, CL of English. Nancy Sackerwaters, ACL of Visual Arts. Brian Clark, CL of Social Science. Deborah Mondro, ACL of Literacy. Catherine Yamashita, CL of Screen Arts. Christine Sakikian, CL of Guidance. Dana Priestley, ACL of Student Success. Tina Antonin, ACL of Social Science. Kate Hang, ACL of Biology. Laura Newhouse, ACL of Drama. Philip Kim, CL of Mathematics. Sarah Jane Vigliano, ACL of Library. Jeannie Chu, ACL of Chemistry. Rosalie Leo, ACL of Physical and Health Education. Andrea Lill, ACL of Numeracy. Sasha Nukovic, ACL of Computers. Danny Hadida, ACL of Cooperative Education. Leanne Moon, ACL of Mathematics. Janet Gundler, ACL of English as a Second Language. Monica Miller, CL of Special Education. and Mike Candy of ACL of Business. Now I'd like to introduce to you Mari Rekka, who brings greetings from the Toronto District School Board.
Thanks very much, everyone, and it is a pleasure, a true pleasure to be here. And I do bring greetings on behalf of the chair and the trustees of the Toronto District School Board, particularly your trustee for Willowdale, which is me, and I'm very proud to do that. So I would like to say a good afternoon to you all, and congratulations to the graduates. Graduating Carps, Earl Haig staff, family, and friends. I'd like to say thanks and congratulations to the graduates, I'm sure, from everybody in this room and beyond. And thank you to all in this room and beyond, but especially today to Ms. Gonzalez and the Earl Haig staff who've supported and nurtured the learning of the graduates who are here before us. And I would like us all to give this extraordinary, and they truly are, an extraordinary staff a huge round of applause. I'd also like to acknowledge that some of these wonderful staff people will be leaving, some of the sports staff and teachers that have given so much to Earl Haig and the Earl Haig community. I would really like to salute them on that occasion and wish them well. I'd also like to acknowledge our very wonderful school council that works with the staff at Earl Haig to enhance the experience for all of the students here. And one of our school council co-chairs, Kathy McVeigh, who's up here with us today, I suspect many of us may know her. I served with Kathy on a school council in Willowdale as a co-chair, and at that time she was also co-chairing 2 other school councils in Willowdale, and she's continued to be that actively involved. She is, in a sense, graduating along with her daughter this year as well, but we are still in good hands as we have down in Noma, and the school council is going to continue with further participation, I'm sure, from many of you out there. I'd also finally, in that way, like to acknowledge Mrs. Ruth Watson, who has been a presence for all of us for many, many years and has come to this graduation for many, many years. She is well, and she has participated in Willowdale events this week. She couldn't join us this afternoon, but I know she's thinking of us. So it's been said that everything you need to know you've learned from kindergarten, which might make you undergraduates what you've been doing for the last 12 years. But I believe what you've been doing, with the able assistance of your extraordinary teachers, is moving from the simple question of why that small children ask to asking, why do we know why? Which connotes a capacity to think critically. The ability to think critically is in turn essential to acquiring wisdom, to being able to distinguish the difference between the things we cannot change and the things we can. Some things clearly a future Earl Haig graduate right there. Some things, most seriously death, and according to my husband, some things like taxes cannot be changed. But most other things can be, and that's where all of you graduates come in. For you, dear graduates, are the future of change. And on that note, I'd just like to say, remember always to vote. It's your duty to your country. Remember to enjoy each happy moment. They're all precious. Stay true always to exactly who you are, and may you grow in wisdom and make our world a better place. Go out and make changes, Earl Haig graduates. Carpe diem. Our best wishes go with you. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Linda Curtis, who brings greetings from senior staff.
Good afternoon, graduates, staff, honored guests, and families of Earl Haig Secondary School. It is truly an honor to be here representing our Director of Education, Donna Kwan, and the senior team of the Toronto District School Board. They send their congratulations to you all. I have to say, being out in the hallway and to come in, it was quite a sight. To see the sea of blue in front of you. It was an amazing sight. And today you have much to celebrate and much to appreciate. This will be an afternoon of accolades from many sources. The Earl Haig faculty, parents, community members, and peers. These are the people who have supported you, nagged you, pushed you beyond what you thought was possible, and expected the best you could give every day. To them, you owe your gratitude. Follow your passion. There's no greater joy than spending each day pursuing the studies and vocation that truly motivates you. I can tell you that as one who's had the good fortune of spending 30 years in a profession which I love. What I believe is that no matter what your academic standing, your talents, and opportunities in life, it is your character that defines you. I believe that writer Frank Outlaw sums it up best in his poem called It's All About Character. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Take good care of yourselves and of each other, and best of luck. My congratulations to all of you.
At this time, I would like to invite our principal, Renata Gonzalez, to present the principal's remarks.
Honored guests, parents, staff, and graduates. On behalf of the staff and students of Earl Haig, I'd like to extend congratulations and best wishes to you, the graduates of 2014, and to your family and friends. I would also like to express my sincere thank yous to Mark Caruana and Linda McMullen and everyone that helped with the commencement ceremonies this afternoon. They've done a wonderful job as usual, and I thank them very much. I must say that as I look around the theater this afternoon, that you are an attractive-looking group. The caps and gowns certainly suit all of you, and I also see faces full of happiness and pride, and you should feel very, very proud today. I know that you will agree with me when I say that you have not done this alone, and as you've heard from Ms. Curtis, that you've had supporters here. Your parents, your teachers, your relatives and friends, all supporters in your success. I'd like to express my sincere thank you and respect and appreciation to your parents. And of course, your teachers who have supported you in the development of who you are today and helped you with the planning and realization of your graduation. Thank you. Graduates of 2014, you are a very special group for me, since most of you arrived 4 years ago at the same time I did. I think that we can say that we arrived to a school not knowing exactly what to expect, and we've come together today, I'm certain, feeling that we've had a wonderful 4 years at the best high school in the country. Since we share this very common beginning, I especially want the message for you today to have meaning. I also want to ensure that I'm not just blathering on, so prior to writing this commencement address, I spent time thinking about what to say to you. I've written 14 commencement addresses, and I believe that it doesn't get any easier. You don't want to come across knowing you know it all, or that you've lived such an interesting life that you could use examples from it to enhance your address, or that I have so much life advice, words of wisdom, lessons learned, ideas on how to be successful, and insights on how to be happy, that I would be able to relay those messages to you. I'm not going to pretend I know it all. So what can I say that will have meaning to you today? As I wrote the address, I made the decision that it would be a very simple address, and that I would choose to speak about everyday life and the inspiration that we can draw from it. Finding inspiration and reinforcement about how we choose to live our lives is all around us and in the daily situations and circumstances that we encounter. Odd as it may seem, the inspiration for my message for you today came from a piece of clothing. Yes, you heard me correctly, a piece of clothing. I was out watching my daughter play soccer one night this spring. As you can already surmise, the address today does include a soccer setting, which is extremely appropriate given that we are in the middle of one of the best World Cup tournaments we have ever seen. Even though Italy has been knocked out, I'm still cheering for some of the teams. But I digress and should get back to the topic. As I was saying, I was at my daughter's soccer game and I noticed that the team had just purchased new jerseys. She plays for Ajax United. The new jerseys were red and white in color and had a crest on the top left-hand corner. Underneath the crest was some writing. I couldn't see the writing clearly from where I was sitting, but as the game started and the players rushed by the sidelines or stood to take a throw-in, I saw flashes of words on the jerseys, and I thought I saw the words, "Beat Ajax." I said to myself, why would anybody put in big, bold letters, "Beat Ajax"? This is a very unusual piece of writing. Is the goal not for a team to compete and put forth the best effort and try and demonstrate superior athleticism over other teams? I thought that's what they should be doing. Having the words "Beat Ajax" didn't make sense. As the game continued and the players ran by and I kept trying to get a closer look, I was able to get another look when one of the players came to the sidelines for a throw-in. This glance allowed me to see the words, "Can beat Ajax." Again, I said to myself, this is not something I would want on a sports jersey. At that point, my brain started working overtime, trying to sort out this very peculiar information that was coming in and attempting to try and find an explanation that made sense. I know that some of you, may have experienced this state of mind, especially when things don't make sense, and this time was no different. So in an attempt to sort out the meaning of the words I saw on the jersey, my brain came up with a number of scenarios and possible explanations. Perhaps the words "can beat Ajax" were just a strategic psychological move to psych the other team out, or have them focus on this very unusual, rather self-defeating words on the jersey instead of the game or the play. Or perhaps, very simply, it was just a mistake that no one had caught. The game came to an end, and the team made their way to the sidelines. As the athletes approached, I was able to get a good look at the jersey and the string of black words that were just under the crest. In clear black letters, the crest on the jersey read, "No one can beat Ajax, but Ajax." Interesting. I repeated it again in my head. No one can beat Ajax, but Ajax. As I drove home, I kept thinking about these words and the meaning behind them. My brain started making some connections. And yes, I can tell you that as surprising as this may sound, you will remember what you've learned in high school. And if not entirely, at least the bits of what is remembered will help you make the connections in your brain that build and extend on what you already know. So armed with some knowledge stored in my brain from years ago, I was able to recall reading the Iliad in high school and remembered that Ajax was one of the mythical Greek heroes in this story. He was a warrior who fought against Troy. Very briefly, from what I remember, in the story of the Iliad, there were two rival groups, the Trojans and the Greeks. Ajax is Greek, and so is the famous Achilles. When Achilles dies, there's a competition that's held to determine who'll get his armor. After several days of competition, Odysseus and Ajax are tied for the ownership of the magical armor. It is then that a further competition is held to determine who deserves the armor. Ajax argues that because of his strength and his fighting he's done for the Greeks, including saving the ships from Hector and driving them off, he deserves the armor. However, Odysseus proves to be more eloquent and the council gives him the armor. When Ajax doesn't win the competition, he's so upset with the loss that he falls upon his own sword. The character of Ajax makes a decision that if he cannot have the armor, then he will not carry on, and ultimately is defeated by himself. Hence, the connection is made. No one can beat Ajax but Ajax. By now, some of you are thinking that this address is sounding more and more like an English class, ENG4, all over again. And some of your English teachers sitting in the audience, or ACL Mr. Webster, or CL Mr. Webster, is probably not too upset that I'm including an analysis of the Iliad or a character analysis of Ajax. I'm sure you're nodding in perfect agreement here. I will, however, stop here and say that the inspirational message here, I hope, is fairly obvious. In simple terms, no one can have a greater impact on your success but you, no matter what you face or the goals that you set for yourself. No one can determine them better than you. It is you and you alone that can either make or break any situation. And even when the goals are not reached, it is once again you and you alone that determines and has the most influence on the outcome. So give yourself some good competition and don't expect anything less. Graduates, as I come to the end of this address, there is one more thing that I'd like to share with you. The last part of the address comes as a result of the suggestions my daughters have made. I have two daughters, one that is going into grade 12 and the other that's going into her third year at university. I often get their opinions, sometimes even when I don't ask for it. I know parents in the audience will agree that that sometimes does happen. Every year when they see me working on the commencement address, they ask what the message will be to the graduates. When I told them that I would include the theme that only you can defeat yourself and that I would be making references to the Iliad, they basically said that all of you would be asleep before the first minute. They suggested that I incorporate something more contemporary. I must say that at first I shrugged with their suggestion and said, no, I'm not going to do that. But because it wasn't too hard to do, to find the same message or theme in a more contemporary form, I included a more contemporary message. So, in my attempt to make the message more meaningful to all of you, I will leave you with the same message using some contemporary lyrics. And no, I won't sing it. I will leave that up to you. But I will say that the lyrics are from Headley, and it goes something like this. Everybody said, boy, don't go any higher. Never push the limit, and never play with fire. And I won't say what the real words are here, but it's and my ears here, forget that. I know it's not forget that, but we'll say forget that. It's more appropriate for this venue. And then it goes on to say, I can do anything. 1,000 disbelievers couldn't keep me on the ground. I've invented a momentum that'll never slow me down. I believe it because I feel it, and I shout it out loud. I can, I can, I can, so. Graduates of 2014, go higher, push the limit, believe in yourself, because the person that you are competing with and has the most power over you is you. Congratulations. I wish you nothing but the best.
I'd like to take a moment to draw your attention to the last few pages of the program. These are the scholarships and awards pages. The in-school scholarships and awards were presented at our graduate awards assembly earlier in June, and you'll find the recipients listed here. I would also like to mention that many of the out-of-school scholarships have not yet been announced, or have been announced only very recently. For this reason, they could not be included in our program. Nevertheless, we want to congratulate all of you on your achievements. Well, it's now that time. We are now pleased to begin presenting our graduates with their Ontario Secondary School Diploma, a very wonderful milestone. Graduating students will be called up in 4 sections. Please hold your applause until the end of each group. I'd like to now call upon Ms. Deborah Mondro to introduce the first group of graduating students. The diploma presentation will be by our principal, Ms. Renata Gonzalez, and our trustee, Ms. Mari Redcap.
Simon, Ayan.
Is going into computer science.
Ali Ala,
Is going to the University of Toronto for economics.
Sina Ashwabizadeh,
Is going to Ryerson University for mechanical engineering.
Randa Labudi,
Is going to Ryerson University for environmental and urban sustainability.
Jordan Associates,
Is going to McMaster University for an honors arts and science degree.
Thalia Ewan,
Is going to University of Toronto for architecture.
Gina Aryan,
Is going to the University of Toronto for social sciences and has won the President's Excellence Award.
Tyler Ashley,
Is taking a year off for traveling.
Ignatius Al,
Is going to the Chinese University of Hong Kong and studying integrated Bachelor of Business and Administration.
Barbara Al,
Is going to the University of Toronto for economics.
Sarah Shamirani,
Is going to Ryerson for architecture and York for business economics. And has won an entry scholarship.
Mabad Arabian,
Is going to York University for law and society.
Vivian Dai,
Is going to the University of Toronto for humanities.
Adrian Best,
Is going to the same school, Earl Haig Secondary School. Is going to Wilfrid Laurier for computing and computer electronics.
Brian Buxaden,
Is going to Ryerson University for criminology.
Lizzie Badokia,
Is going to Ryerson University to the Ted Rogers School of Management and Business Management.
Jackie Boutros,
Is going to the University of Toronto for social science.
Mary Boyd,
Is going to Seneca.
Amy Bradshaw,
Is going to Seneca College for early childhood education.
Olivia Brinson,
Is going to Ryerson for social work and has won an entrance scholarship for academic achievement.
Arturo Ventura,
Is going to the University of Toronto for kinesiology.
Christian Benet,
Is going to the University of Toronto for Rotman Commerce.
Sanjang Buhai,
Is going to George Brown.
Billy Campbell,
Is going to McMaster University for economics. going to make Masters for kinesiology.
Hi, I'm hungry. My name is Paul.
And he's going to the University of Toronto, Hard House Catering. Is going to Centennial College for Automotive Power Technology.
Justin Chandler.
Is going to Ryerson University for journalism and won the Pierre Burton Contest Senior Writer of the Year Award.
Stephen Chen.
Will be taking a year off.
Shamar Charles.
Is going to the University of Toronto for Industrial Engineering.
Rowan Chen.
Is going to the University of Toronto for Rodman Commerce program.
I'm Chen.
Is going to the University of Waterloo for bioinformatics.
Jessica Chan.
Jessica is going to Queen's University for Commerce.
Eileen Chen.
Is going to the University of Guelph for biological and pharmaceutical chemistry.
Lee Chen.
Is going to the University of Toronto for engineering.
Dave Chen.
Is going to the University of Toronto for arts and sciences and economics.
Jasper Chen.
Is going to George Brown for the culinary school.
Emily Chen. Emily.
Is going to the University of Toronto for life sciences.
Nicholas Chen.
Is going to the University of Toronto for life sciences.
Peter Chen.
Is going to Ryerson for business management. Is going to the University of Ottawa for biomedical engineering.
Ava Chu.
Is going to York University for biology.
Alex Choi.
Is going to Western, the Ivy School of Business.
Joanne Choi.
Is going to Indiana University, Jacobs School of Music. And has won a scholarship award as the Premier Young Artist Award of Indiana.
Sean Chong.
Is going to York University for psychology.
Ian Chow.
Ian is going to McMaster for math and stats.
Valerie Chu.
Valerie is going to the University of Toronto for social sciences.
Raghav Chokha.
Ryan is going to the University of Toronto for life sciences.
Matthew Chan.
Matthew is going to Shula for business.
Daniel Chung.
Is going to York University for business information technology.
Kyle Clark.
Kyle Clark will be pursuing a freelance dance career.
Suri Cohen.
Is going to Ryerson University in the Fashion Communication program and has won an entrance scholarship for academic achievement.
Addie Huza.
Is going to George Brown for health and fitness promotion and is Athlete of the Year. Is going to the University of Ottawa for health science.
Katrina DeBruin.
She's going to Fanshawe College for health and fitness this promotion. That's where she ran across the stage again. Oh, Eugene Sean is going to the University of Windsor for a BFA in acting.
Sarah Diocampo.
Is going to the University of Guelph for psychology.
Diana Day.
Is going to McGill University for biomedical and life sciences.
Joe Day.
Is going to the University of Waterloo for financial management and chartered accountancy co-op.
Deja Dixon Green.
Is going to the National Theatre School of Canada for acting. Is going to the University of Toronto for life sciences and has won the President's Award.
Janice Dahl.
Is going to the University of Waterloo for global business and digital arts.
Nicholas Doré.
Is going to Durham College for welding techniques.
Jerry Noel.
Is going to Queen's University for engineering sciences and has won the Principal Scholarship. Is going for spring entry for engineering. Mariah is going to York University for film production and has won the President's Entrance Award. Is going to York University for kinesiology and has won an entrance scholarship.
Richard.
Is going to another school. Is going to the University of Toronto, Broadman Commerce. Is going to York and Sheridan for design. Is going to the University of Toronto, St. George campus for life sciences.
Hussein Fauzi.
Is going to the University of Toronto for kinesiology. Is going to McGill University for a BA and SC.
Alicia Faye.
Is going to Western University for kinesiology and IB, and she's won the 2013 Ontario Youth Volunteer Service Award.
Nicole Miller.
Is going to Western University for kinesiology, and she won the Claude Watson Community Arts Award and the Dance Major Award.
Sarah Flick.
Is going to Concordia University for Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theatre and Development.
Kelly Fullerton.
Will be attending Redeemer University College for Engineering and will be graduating with honors, receiving a Claude Watson diploma and a bilingual diploma, as well as a Leadership Scholarship Award, entrance scholarships, 2 costumes and makeup awards, and a lot more. And today also happens to be her birthday. We'll be going to Wilfrid Laurier University for a Bachelor of Music. And he's won the Music Entrance Scholarship.
Alex Easton.
We'll be going to Western University for Political Science and has won the Arts Letter, Claude Watson Community Award, an entrance scholarship, is on the honor roll, and the Claude Watson diploma. Is going to Queen's University for life science.
Cameron Geddes on office.
Is going for policing and Hubbard.
Paul Sherman.
Is going to Fleming Business Administration.
Armand Carnizal.
Is going to the University of Toronto for Ethics Society and Law.
Paul Go.
Is going to the University of Toronto for Civil Engineering.
Shelley Lindsay.
Is going to Hubbard for a Bachelor of Film.
Lourdes Reyes.
Is going to Confederation College in Thunder Bay. Is going to Marymount Manhattan College for BFA in Program for Dance and has won an entrance scholarship and the Ontario Principals Council Award. Is going to the University of Toronto for voice and music performance. Is going for a Bachelor of Arts to McGill University. Is going to the University of Toronto.
Ian Diaz.
Is going to Seneca College for Aviation Technology. Is going to the University of Toronto for Rotman Commerce. Is going to York University for professional writing.
Fran Pan.
Is going to the University of Waterloo for business and computer science. Is taking a year off. Is going to the University of Toronto Life Science and has won a President's Entrance Award. Is going for biological science at Western. Is going to OCAD University for environmental design. Is going to Western University for international relations. Is going to McGill for arts. Is going to the University of Ottawa for biomedical sciences.
Jacob Paul.
Is going to the University of Toronto for business management.
Jasmine Huang.
Is going to Western University for medical science and Ivy School of Business and has won the Stephen Brand Merit Award and the Claude Watson Arts Letter. Is going to the University of Toronto for physical and mathematical science. Is going to the University of Toronto for mathematical and physical science. Is going to Georgian College for police studies. Is going to the University of Guelph for biomedical science.
Tiffany Huan.
Is going to the University of Toronto for social science. Is going to Ryerson University for early childhood studies.
Youngpin Huang.
Is going to Ryerson University for graphic communication management. The next group of grads will be introduced by Brian Clark, Curriculum Leader of Social Science. The diploma presentation will be by Tara Lee Blight, Artistic Director of Claude Watson, and Michael Brees, Vice Principal.
Mohammed Ibrahim. Mohammed will be attending the University of Toronto in Communication and Information Technology. Agassi will be going to Wilfrid Laurier University for Financial Mathematics, Business Administration.
Nikki J.
Nikki J will be off to Ryerson next year for Creative Industries.
Willie John.
Willie will be going to the University of Ottawa for Chemical Engineering.
Florence Jia.
Florence will be going to the University of Waterloo for Computer Science, and she received a President's Scholarship.
Connie Jia.
Pardon me. Connie will be attending the University of Toronto for Commerce and Finance.
Christine Zhou.
Christine will be attending McMaster University in Integrated Science.
Madeline John.
Madeline will be attending McMaster University for Kinesiology.
Daniel.
Danny will be attending the University of Toronto for Rotman Commerce. Denise will be attending the University of Waterloo in Global Business and Digital Arts. Joshua Chu. Joshua will be attending the University of Waterloo for geomatics. Ji-Wan will be attending Queen's University for music and concurrent education. David will be attending the University of Toronto for social sciences.
Katie Martin.
Kate will be attending Yale University for arts and science, and she's also Musician of the Year.
Ryan Haig.
Do my best. Ryan is up at the University of Toronto Music Competition and Composer of the Year. I think that's what I'm supposed to read.
Helen Song.
And is attending the University of Toronto for life sciences.
Hannah Lee.
Hannah will be attending Ryerson University to study journalism.
Catherine Dong.
Catherine will be attending the University of Toronto to study life sciences.
Adriana Kay.
Adriana will be attending the University of Toronto for kinesiology and physical education.
Johnny Kang.
Johnny will be attending York University for health sciences and kinesiology.
Janice Target.
Suresh will be attending the University of Toronto for criminology.
Jordana Kay.
Jordana will be attending Queen's University to study mathematics and statistics.
Laura Keeter.
Laura will be traveling for a year. Very nice.
Efron Flatanova.
Efron will be attending Carleton University for aerospace engineering. And he will be trying for something interesting down here next year.
Mohamed Khalodadi.
Mohammed will be out with George Brown next year to study culinary management. Simone is taking a year off to work and explore life. Very nice.
Lisa Kim.
Lisa will be going to Sheridan College for animation.
Helen Kim.
Helen will be going to Center College for tourism flight service.
Daniel Kim.
Dan will be going to Ryerson next year to study computer science.
Anna Kim.
Anna will be going to York University, Schulich School of Business.
Leo Kim.
Leo will be going to the University of Western Ontario and looks like the Ivy School of Management and Organizational Studies.
Albert Kim.
Albert will be attending the University of Western Ontario for medical sciences.
Soy Kim.
Sin will be attending the University of Toronto to study kinesiology.
Susan Kim.
Susan will be going to York Sheridan Combined Program for Design.
Tommy Kim.
Tommy will be attending York University, Schulich School of Business.
Haley Kirsch.
Haley will be attending Carleton University to study journalism.
Hannah Kane.
Hannah will be going to attend Huron University College for Business.
Kim Krasinski.
Kim looks like he's off doing something alternative next year.
Rashad Kumar.
Rashad is off to Duke University next year, and the winner of our Social Science Award.
Lily Kuo.
Elam is off to Queen's University to study physical and health education.
Akash Mataya.
Cash will be attending York University for kinesiology.
Beatrice Law.
Beatrice will be off to a Chinese University of Hong Kong.
Father Kislan.
Lyle will be returning to Earl Haig for a victory lap.
Eric Lai.
Eric will be attending the University of Toronto to study architecture. Charlton will be attending OCAD University to study illustration.
Noah Lashevsky.
Noah will be attending McMaster University next year in the Honors Health and Science program. She was also student activity president and Andres Rautzep Award winner, French Claude Watson Arts Leadership Award and Citizenship Award. Very nice.
Anthea Lau.
Anthea will be attending the University of Waterloo to study civil engineering. Edmund will be attending McMaster University.
Sabrina Lau.
Sabrina will be attending the University of Toronto, studying history.
Earl Haig.
Dale will be attending the University of Waterloo, studying computer science.
Tommy Lee.
Tommy will be attending the University of Toronto to study civil engineering. Daniel will be attending McMaster University, studying engineering and management.
Leah Lee.
He will be attending the University of Toronto, studying humanities.
Patrick Lee.
Patrick will be attending Sheridan College for the animation program.
Jason Lee.
Jason will be attending the University of Toronto for biopharmaceutical sciences.
Candy Lee.
Andy will be attending Monsters University. Smooth scatter. Peg will be attending the University of Toronto to study social sciences.
Ian Love.
Egan will be attending the University of Western Ontario to study science and kinesiology.
Sabrina Lau.
Sabrina will be attending Queen's University to study commerce.
Corinne Leviton.
Corrine will be out at the Schulich School of Business.
Benjamin Lee.
Benjamin will be attending Harvard University to study computer science. Sherry will be attending an Anglo-European College for Chiropractic in England.
Anna Lee.
Anna will be attending York University for the Sheridan program in design.
Vanessa Lee.
Vanessa will be studying at the University of Toronto, Rockland Commerce.
Joyce Boying Lee.
Joyce will be studying at Ryerson next year in the School of Management.
Hazel Lee.
Hazel will be studying at Tyndale University, majoring in biblical studies.
Kevin Lee.
Kevin will be attending Marquette University and studying graphic design.
Teresa Lee.
Teresa will be attending the University of Toronto to study social sciences. Wilson will be attending the University of Waterloo to study computer engineering.
Vera Lee.
Vera will be attending the University of Guelph to study human nutrition.
Sean Lee.
Sean will be attending the University of Toronto and the Ivy School of Business.
Alice Lee.
Alice will be attending the University of Guelph and the accounting program.
Aaron Lee.
Eric will be attending the University of Waterloo and studying business administration. Jimmy will be attending the University of Waterloo and Laurier to study math.
Cindy Liang.
Cindy will be attending the University of Waterloo for environmental engineering.
Nancy Liang.
Nancy will be attending OCAD to study illustration.
Moses Dan.
Moses will be attending the University of Toronto this year.
Alina Liang.
Elena will be studying at Ryerson University in the engineering program.
Thurston Lim.
Thurston will be going to the University of Toronto next year to study computer science.
Lucy Lin.
Lucy will be attending the University of Waterloo next year to study architecture.
Diana Little.
Diana will be attending McGill University to study English literature.
Amelia L.
Amelia will be attending the University of Toronto Communications and Social Media.
James Liu.
James will be attending the University of Waterloo next year to study architecture.
Matthew Donald Livingston Salvini.
Matthew will spend a year working next year.
Sean Zhu.
Sean will be attending the University of Toronto for life sciences.
Monica Romanti Logan.
Monica will be returning to Earl Haig also for a victory lap.
Andre Romer.
Andre will be studying at York University next year in history.
Megan Liu.
Megan will be studying at York University in concurrent education and children's studies program.
Jonathan Liu.
Jonathan will be attending McMaster University for music cognition.
Lily Liu.
studying at Babson College. Kenman will be studying at Ryerson University in the Politics and Governance program. I'm now going to turn over the ceremonies to the next group for us will be introduced by Nancy Sackbart. Nancy is the Assistant Curriculum Leader of Visual Arts. The diploma presentation will be made by Kathy McVeigh, who is the co-chair of our Parents' Council, and Tone Collin, Vice Principal at Earl Haig.
Helen, Mom. Helen is going to be going to the University of Waterloo. Kathy, Mom. Kathy is also going to be going to Waterloo to study kinesiology.
Hello, Madam.
Petra is going to be going to Glenn Gould School of the Royal Conservatory of Music.